You probably think you'd know if you were having a heart attack, right? Sharp chest pain, gasping for breath, that's what movies have drilled into us. But what if I told you that some heart attacks sneak in silently, without the dramatic warning signs you expect? Imagine your heart under attack without you even realizing it. Scary, isn't it? Here's the real danger. By the time you notice, it could already be too late. The truth is, your body whispers before it screams. Subtle symptoms like fatigue, cold sweat, or even mild chest discomfort can easily be mistaken for everyday stress. But ignoring these signs could cost you everything. This isn't just about fear, it's about knowing the early red flags and how to respond before it's too late. And today, you'll discover how to recognize those silent signals and take control, before your heart pays the ultimate price. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night with a strange sensation in your chest. It's not exactly pain, it feels more like pressure, a heaviness that just doesn't make sense. Maybe it comes with cold sweat trickling down your forehead or an overwhelming fatigue that makes getting out of bed feel impossible. Most people would brush off these signs, thinking it's just exhaustion, anxiety, or indigestion. But what if I told you these are silent symptoms of something far more serious? Recognizing these subtle signals could be the difference between life and death. The human body has a surprisingly subtle way of crying for help. Chest pain might be the first sign of a heart attack, but it doesn't always show up dramatically like in the movies. Sometimes, it's just a mild discomfort, a feeling of tightness, or even a strange ache radiating down the left arm. Shortness of breath, on the other hand, might just feel like being winded after climbing a few stairs. The secret? Never underestimate these warnings. Taking a moment to recognize these symptoms could literally save your life. Now, think about that moment when nausea blends with a sudden wave of unexplained anxiety. It might seem trivial, but that mix can also be a silent warning sign of a heart attack. People who've experienced it often describe this feeling as a deep, unsettling sense of doom, an unshakable fear paired with dizziness and cold sweat. It's like your body is doing everything it can to signal that something is dangerously wrong. And believe me, it is. Recognizing these early signs is like cracking a secret code. But knowing what to do when these symptoms strike? Now that's even more vital. What if you're alone? How do you react in the face of such an emergency? We'll dive into that next, because your response in those critical moments could shape the next few minutes, or even the rest of your life. And hey, if this information is already making sense to you, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. Your support helps spread life-saving knowledge. Imagine a bustling highway during rush hour. Cars are lined up for miles, horns blaring, and nothing moves. That's exactly what happens inside your body during a heart attack, except the stakes are much higher. When a coronary artery becomes blocked, the blood flow that carries precious oxygen to the heart muscle comes to a grinding halt. Without oxygen, heart cells start to die, and every second counts. It's not just a blockage, it's a life-or-death traffic jam happening inside your body. What's really alarming is how sudden this blockage can occur. Often, it starts with the buildup of plaque, a sticky substance made of fat, cholesterol, and other materials. Over time, this buildup narrows the arteries until, one day, a piece breaks off, forming a clot that completely stops the flow. Imagine pouring syrup into a straw until nothing can pass through. That's how silently and swiftly a heart attack can strike, often without much warning. But here's the catch: not all heart attacks scream for attention. Some are eerily silent, creeping in with symptoms so subtle they're easy to ignore, like mild fatigue or light chest discomfort. Yet, the damage being done inside your body is just as real. This is why understanding how a heart attack works isn't just medical trivia, it's survival knowledge. It helps you recognize when your body is signaling that something's wrong, even when the signs aren't obvious. Knowing how an infarction unfolds is powerful, but it's just the beginning. What truly saves lives is knowing what to do in those terrifying first moments. Imagine being alone, feeling those unsettling symptoms creeping in. What's your first move? In the next section, we'll dive into the action steps that can make all the difference, especially when every second feels like it's slipping away. Picture this: you're alone, and suddenly that tightness in your chest becomes impossible to ignore. Your breathing becomes shallow, and cold sweat starts to bead on your forehead. It's easy to panic in moments like these, but here's the most crucial step you can take: call emergency services immediately. Not after a few minutes, not after you wait it out. Right now. Time is heart muscle. The faster you act, the greater your chances of survival. The very first words out of your mouth should be, "I think I'm having a heart attack." This simple phrase could save your life. Many people underestimate the importance of this call, thinking they can drive themselves to the hospital. But let's be real, this is a huge mistake. If you lose consciousness behind the wheel, not only are you putting yourself at risk, but everyone else on the road too. Calling an ambulance means you'll get immediate medical care from professionals who can begin treatment on the way to the hospital. And when seconds matter, that can mean everything. You might wonder, but what if I'm overreacting? That fear is common, but let me be clear, it's better to be safe than sorry. Emergency responders are trained for these situations and would rather show up for a false alarm than arrive too late. It's not just about getting to the hospital. It's about getting help right now from professionals who can stabilize you before things get worse. Making that call is just the first step. But what happens while you're waiting for help to arrive? Your body is already under immense stress, so the next few minutes are all about protecting your heart as much as possible. Let's dive into the simple yet life-saving positioning technique that could help ease the strain while you wait. Now, imagine this. You've made the emergency call, but every second until help arrives feels like an eternity. What can you do in the meantime? The answer might surprise you. Get into the right position. Sitting or lying down with your head slightly elevated is more than just about comfort. It can help ease the strain on your heart and conserve precious oxygen. Avoid sudden movements. Staying calm and still can actually slow down your heart rate and keep the situation from getting worse. Think of it like this. If your heart is struggling, every unnecessary movement is like adding weight to an already overloaded system. Sit down on a sturdy chair or lean back against a wall with your knees slightly bent. This reduces the heart's workload and helps stabilize your breathing. It's a small move that can have a massive impact while waiting for medical professionals to arrive. If you're with someone experiencing these symptoms, guide them into this position gently. Speak calmly, reassure them, and keep them as still as possible. Even offering something as simple as holding their hand or reminding them to breathe can be incredibly powerful in keeping panic at bay. Remember, every bit of calmness helps lower the heart stress during this critical moment. By now, you might realize that these small, simple actions could be life-saving. But let's be honest. Most people don't think about these things until it's too late. That's why understanding prevention is just as important as knowing what to do in an emergency. Speaking of preparation, if you're finding this information valuable, hit that like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep spreading awareness. It could save someone's life. So now that you know the silent signals your body might send, here's the real question. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you brush it off, hoping it never happens to you? Or will you take control, recognizing the signs early and acting fast when it matters most? The choice is yours, and trust me, the stakes couldn't be higher. Think about it. Your future, your family, and your life could depend on how prepared you are right now. But let's take this a step further. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to battle constant pain and weak bones, even when they're doing everything right? You might be missing critical hidden causes that no one talks about. If that sounds familiar, don't miss our video on constant pain and weak bones. Discover the 3 hidden causes no one told you about. It's packed with insights that could help you connect the dots and take charge of your health for good. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced any of these silent symptoms? What changes are you planning to make after learning all this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every one of them. And if you found value in this video, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join this community dedicated to empowering your health. Your heart, and your future, will thank you.